Hi, today I will talk about optional, Java optional. It was introduced from Java 8, and that we can so optional is designed to represent the presence or absence of a single value. So it is for optional used for single value, not for collection or array, such as list or something like that. So let's start something. Okay, there is no constructor for optional. To create the optional, you have to do optional.empty or optional of value. Value here is object. So with that we can create optional object. Another one is optional dot of nullable, which means that it can be nullable. So I can create a null here. So for example, if I say here object 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 o o equal to new object, so new object, see, and then it will accept it. It means this is object, this is object. So it means that this one can be nullable, but it means that if you inst object, it can be null. Here it will also accept, but this one it should not accept null. Here null it's not. If you start the running the program, then you will see that it's a throw exception. See, throw is exception because of this null. So it means that if the value you think that it could be null, so you don't use this one, use this one if you think that could be null. Okay, for example, if this one could be null, so object is null, so we did of nullable. Okay, this are for creating object. So creating optional object. So it looks to me, look, see here, object is created, all object is created, and then you wrap it. That's the way we create a optional object. Why this wrapper optional was created? So for example, this actually given me the real object. See here, if it doesn't found, it return null. So as a developer, if I forget to use the null, handle the null when you call this method, if I forget to handle the null exception, handle the null pointer null value of the user, then it might create a problem. It might create a problem. For example, don't check if user 2 is not null, then you do get name. Okay, if you forget to that, instead of doing that, it directly try to access the method name, then user 2 turns out to be null, then it will be null pointer exception. So this is for helping the developer. Instead of doing this, we have a optional wrapper class kind of. So and then we had to handle it. And now it might be null. So because we don't have access, user optional is not user object. We cannot access. See, for example, I create the user optional. Say then user option. This user optional we don't is not user object. It's not. It is a wrapping. I have to unwrap that one. The way we have to unwrap is like this. This is one example. This is the way we unwrap. So user optional, then you do or else throw. This one I'm doing it, and then if it is not null or not empty, then it get the user object. Okay, otherwise it will throw illegal argument exception. This is one way of doing. Another way of doing is this. Here, if user optional is not null or not non-empty, then you get the value, the user object. Otherwise, you create a new user. Okay, here it's all or else get with that method. Now this way we get the user object. Once we get the user object, so then we can print it. Okay, So it means that we cannot have access the real object. There is a wrapping. We have to unwrap it, and then we get the real object. Then we while unwrapping, at that moment we also check that if it is null, then handle that one through like this, or like this, and if it is not null, then we get the real object. And once we have the object, then we can call the method. So in this way we can reduce the null pointer exception. There are some use cases here. Let's, if it is that clear, I think. Okay, now the use case here, like here, the user, we are creating a user, and then you are creating new address. New address is the embedded object to the user. If you to look at the class, so user has a embedded class here, address, and then see, this is the address. Okay, so user had a address. So user object is created, and then how like generally what happened, if you don't do flat map, then you have to lot of if else things, like if new address is not null, for example, you are not using this, then you have to just say if new address is, if user is not null, then if address is not null, then still kind of that kind of if else things. But there's a better way of handling that kind of things, is this way, is like this: optional of nullable, by we creating from the user, we create a like previously I mentioned here, of nullable, the way we create the optional. So here optional is created, similar way optional is created, and then this is optional of user. Okay, and then we made flat map, it's returning the optional of user, then flat map for each flat map to that user, and our argument is user, and sending to the in the argument is sending, and the function body is this one. In this body it says that it return you get address u dot get address is the another object, which is address object, and then optional dot nullable, I'm creating an optional object with this. Okay, and then and this address. Okay, and then we got, at this point we are getting the address, and then address is sending to the map. Okay, here then address is sending as argument to this, and this is the function body, and then function in the function a dot get street name. If see here, there is the optional, I create the optional dot create optional dot nullable, we created the optional object. Okay, but at this point I did not create the optional address, because this is the terminal things, I don't want to go any beyond. This is my real value I want, so we don't have to create optional again. So once we did or else, then it means that this is the value, this is terminal operator in this case. In the list, in the stream case, we have a dot collect, is terminal operator, or dot reduce or something, but here or else is the terminal operator. So here if it is a terminal operator, then you this value, you get this value, a dot strip name, and this is assigned to here, and then like here. Okay, and the good thing, the way this is done is with this one we don't have to do if else things. Okay, this one use case. Another is here, similar optional of user, same user of optional is created, then again same idea, and then you get the address, get street name. So see here, we here it return the optional street name. Okay, because this it is still optional, because there is no terminal operator. I told you that before, that all else the terminal operator. Once the terminal operator is called, then it unwrap the optional, but it's not, terminal operator is not called at this point, and that's why I return the optional. So it's returning the optional. Once they return the optional, then here or else, I'm calling or else here. Here you call the or else, then it got the unwrap the object and get the value. So here I got the value. So here it got the value and then printed. Okay. Or else is not this. Okay. So or else here triggered the option terminal operation. Okay, that's the important point. This one is returning optional. Okay, and this is another one use case. Another use case is using map. It's similar. Say there is nothing special. It's simple. So here optional op. So it's getting the same similar optional op, getting the optional object, and then it's the mapping. Once you that user map uppercase, and then again since you have a or else, so that's why it has the terminal operation. We get the real value. See here, we got the real one, real unwrapped value. Okay, if similarly if or else is not there, then will not get it. So we'll say for example or else not there. Okay, say for example. Say I can example see here or else, say for example or else not there, then what it returns optional string op optional optional string. See, it return optional string, and then you have to do else again, you have to do like this or else, and then you get the real value. Okay. Okay, another one is providing a default value with also or else get. Okay, and this one is we know that default value is or else, previous example. Okay, um, this is like or else is or else and get different. The difference is in case of or else, default value, this part is always executed but it is not assigned. It's a peculiar, is always executed, this part is not assigned to the result. But in this case or else and get, this value will not be executed unless it is empty. So here empty optional, so empty optional, always this will be executed. Okay, but if it is not empty, then it will not be executed, this part. But for or else part, it always be executed, but it is not assigned to that. Okay, so that's the difference. So this one actually similar idea. So it's like replacing null with or else, like nothing special here. This one, okay, this one is list. So I told you before that should not be used list for optional, but there is a way of if someone if you use it, then this is the way we no, I'm sorry, this is not actually, we did not create optional option. I thought I creating the list of optional object. I did not. See here, this is the regular list. This is good. So this is the list. I did not create the list of, and then you say list of optional here. I did not do. Okay, so it is the regular string object, but optional string, um, so returning a optional string. Why? Because find first, at the end we have a find first, so this return actually optional string. Okay, this one, the find first, return the optional. So this is the regular list, it's not nothing so the regular list is created. Okay, and then it turned to optional. So it's not clear. Let's do it differently, then probably it will be. Say this is list string, say temp string. Okay, I create a list string, and then I say this is the temp list string. Okay, this temp string this is a regular string, okay, and then this is a regular string, and then I say, okay, I want to create a from this string I want to create optional uh, optional string. So how will do it? Say here temp string dot temp. See, then it from the regular temp string I create a temp string dot string, then filter find first. Find first will create me a optional string. See here, then this one is optional optional op optional string. See, string has created, so just do here. So you know the find name start with J is optional string, but this is optional, so we cannot do. We have to unwrap it like previous example. So the way we unwrap that or else, if you if you do all or else, then it unwrapped. So at this point it is unwrapped. If the value is present, if the value is not present, this value is not present, then no match will be showing. So its value is present, the find first, so it will be first name with J. Okay. So I can run it, then I can show. See here, I can console. See, first name will John Doe. This one. Yeah, first name starting with J. First name starting with J is John Doe. So it is found. So no match. So if it is so if you say K, then it will return no match. I can another example. K will not be there, so it will see that no match is printing. So just run it. No match. See, first starting with J is no match. So okay. So this is the so it means the same idea. It is optional object, but to get the real value, unwrap it and get the value, we need to get or else get. So I get or else, and then we get the real value. Okay. This is the last use case where user ID, say find by user ID, it will not be found. So because there is no user ID 2, you have seen before. So this one is print, then this will not print, this second one line will print. Okay, so just run it, then you can see user with ID not found. Okay, another important thing I forgot to mention that I did write it here. Avoid optional. We should not use for field in the class. Avoid using optional in fields. That is, avoid using optional as a method parameter. Method parameter we should not use, because everybody who calls a method and they have to do optional, otherwise it will not work. So that's why it's not advisable. Method parameter should not be optional. So avoid using optional collection, as mentioned before. Collection, we should not do collection list. We should not use optional. Optional is for single value only, and other use cases are this is the way. So this is for null pointer. So embedded object is very good. So if else, we avoid if else things here with this one. Okay. Also another one is good one is like, this is a regular list. This is the regular list. Okay, from the regular list I got a find first or always return. This is the regular find first. You don't know that find first. So once the find first, always return optional object. So return first optional, and as mentioned, once I find we got the optional object, we have to unwrap it and get the real value. So here we get the unwrap. and got the real value. Okay, thank you, bye.